Oh, hi there. I would like to continue with this segment of woke, particular subjects that some people aren't aware of that I will discuss. Um, on the forums, at very least, they don't usually say very much. However, the discussion about metal collecting, as in wartime medals through various wars and conflicts throughout history. Um, of course, you got the World War medals, Vietnam, Korea, um, Kuwait, the Iraq War. Um, there are medals in um, Eastern Europe as well. They may be of some intrinsic value to some people. Um, anyway, the discussion was that continually, and when they say continually, I mean, there's always groups out there that are dedicated towards ruining someone else's hobby. All right, I want to show you something. Here is a Purple Heart. It has no inscription on it, and it has no serial number of any kind on it. So it never belonged to anybody. Um, and some people think that I should not be allowed to own such a thing. That is incorrect. I can buy this thing legitimately. Um, they state oh, well, you didn't earn it, and blah, 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 and what conflicts have you been in? You weren't in Vietnam, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, no, I wasn't in Vietnam. No, I will never go to Vietnam. However, what they don't consider is that when the Americans kind of sloppily withdrew from Vietnam, a lot of equipment, miscellaneous stuff, was left behind, including medals. And at any given time, there's probably some ex Viet Cong person taking a piss on a Purple Heart. Whereas with my Purple Heart, I treat it with respect. It's on my shelf, and I'm doing it no dishonor by having it there. It is in the exact same condition I purchased it at, and it will remain so as long as it is in my care. Uh, a lot of people don't understand that. They think that, you know, oh, you should try and track down who it belonged to. Number one, that's near impossible. Number two, that takes a great amount of resources, even if it were the fact that it was something that belonged to someone. Because the Purple Heart in particular, they made 250,000 of them with the anticipation that the Americans were going to invade Japan through the coast, and that of course didn't happen because of the atomic bombs, um, which saved a lot of Americans from being horribly wounded or even killed. And yes, you can be awarded medals if you're killed in battle. Some people say you can't, and it's like, no, actually, you can. Um, you're not going to be able to enjoy it the same way, but you can actually be awarded medals. Anyway, I do believe that there are a few medals out there that no one should be allowed to own, that they should belong either in museums or with the respected owner, the person it was awarded to. That's fair enough. But when it comes to the ones that almost time for God, it's perfectly reasonable to say that, I would like to purchase this. This is for sale, and yada, yada, yada. Um, yeah, I find it a terribly ignorant opinion that someone will come along and go, well, that is, it like promotes hate, and, we must banish anything that promotes hate. Excuse me, you've been downtown East Side? You see what it's like down there? That's what hate looks like. This is a piece of metal. That, from a historical point of view. Um, okay, some people from certain nationalities aren't going to feel the same way about the metal I'm talking about in particular, but they have their own metals. Um, Given that the Vietnamese metals are kind of crappy, I've seen what they look like. They're crap. Maybe they've made new ones since then in commemoration for the sacrifices Vietnamese soldiers made. I don't know, and I don't really care because I don't like their medals. Um, so, this sanctimonious thought process of, oh, these are symbols of hate, and we must uh, do everything in our power to make sure that we live in a hate free world, and therefore we will stop the sale of metals. And that is preposterous, absolutely preposterous. I mean, the Canadian government is one prime example of sanctimonious bullshit. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if at some point Trudeau puts a tax on jeans, for example. Jeans take a lot of water to make, and they're actually kind of really bad for the environment, too. So why doesn't he just slap a tax on jeans and then, rake in the money from slapping a tax on jeans and, you know, he gets to make money and look good, and everything is peachy afterwards. Except it didn't solve the problem, and it only enriched him and his government. So that's what I mean by sanctimonianism, when they pretend to be the good guy and really they're just a piece of shit. Um, and that's what Justin Trudeau is. He's a piece of shit. So it's men like him and people like him that you know always try to demonize the hobby of collecting medals, and there's some places in the states they'll never get away with that kind of thought. They don't tolerate that kind of crap over there, and I'd like to think there's some places in Canada, I wouldn't know where, but feel the same sort of way. Um, but anyway, I'm proud to have this Purple Heart, and no, it didn't belong to anyone, but I still could purchase one that did actually belong to someone. You can buy dog tags, you can buy all sorts of miscellaneous stuff. Um, yeah, um, personal items, and it's all legitimate. I mean, I suppose if you know the veteran came to your door and he's got one missing leg and he said, "Oh, you got my Purple Heart," yes, you should give it back. But other than that, um, no. I acquired it fairly and I have no shame about it. Um, so anyway, on that note, I think I'm gonna turn in for the night. Have a good one.